everybody in the world knows that at least some type of feeler at some point, maybe after the season, whatever, will be extended to Matt Rhule because of his connection to Penn State, because of his connection to Pat Kraft. He's at Nebraska. If you can do everything that you can do at Penn State and Indiana, you certainly can at Nebraska. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to think otherwise. And this is not just about Matt Rhule. That's a lot of guys that they may go after. And in Matt's case, I mean, Pete, I've been on this podcast before he took the Nebraska job, every job that opened. I think they should hire Matt Rhule. I think he's a terrific coach. But his record against top 10 opponents is bad too. So he'll have to answer for that. You name any other candidate that gets thrown out for any big job. Every time there's a job that comes open, they talk about Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell's a great coach. Same situation, maybe different conference, maybe a little different financially. But he's been there a long time. He's happy where he is. Family likes it there. Why go? You can get yourself down to the B or C tier really, really fast when you make a coaching change. And that's why I understand the frustration of Penn State fans. I understand the frustration of the administration and the players and certainly of the coaches themselves. They won a lot of games. And there is no guarantee when you go through the pain of a coaching transition that is going to continue, let alone that just bringing in somebody else is going to guarantee that you win these big games against Oregon and Ohio State and Michigan or Indiana or whoever else might be highly ranked at the time. There is no guarantee of that. It doesn't mean you have to hold on to your coach. Don't mean that. I'm just saying just getting rid of a guy because you're mad at him and posted on Message Board Genius, who I love to reference, by the way, just because you got mad at them and posted on there, we should fire him. He's no good. You don't know that it's going to be better. Might be, but you don't know. And neither do the people doing the hiring.
So let me give a couple points on all of that stuff. A couple things with Penn State is they got to have the money to buy out somebody if they're going Power 5. Or Power
SIG
4,
is $9 million. Rules
SIG
like
is
4 or
10,
5.
I think. 10 million.
9, 10. Yeah, it's close. Between 9 and 10.
They're going to spend $60 million getting rid of the last staff. 49 for Franklin. You got coordinators. I mean, I know they're trying to do this private equity thing, but this is not helping the private equity argument because it's like we're just blowing money here and there. We have to do, private capital, whatever. They got a $700 million stadium renovation. They weren't budgeted to have to do this. That's another 10. Rules 5, I think. I will say this though, as much as I respect the Nebraska program, I do think there's a difference in Nebraska. There's a much bigger difference in Nebraska and Penn State than Indiana and Penn State. And this is my opinion, and I know this breaks all sensibilities the last half century of football, maybe 100. Proximity to talent does matter, and there is very little in-state talent in Nebraska compared to Pennsylvania. Okay, you are loaded up in Pennsylvania, where you're going to start your recruiting class with 15 pretty good to really dang good players, and you're close to everything else, even though you got this thing. Indiana has good players, and you're much more centrally located to Michigan and Ohio and in the South and Indianapolis areas, much more prevalent players in Indiana and Illinois and all that than Nebraska. Nebraska's got a lot more of a challenge on that. So I could see a Matt Rhule saying, I can win better at Penn State than Nebraska more than Kurt Cignetti would say, I can win better. And I get it. I just think throw everything out. Now, to Reese's point, he's absolutely right. Be careful what you wish for, because even in the old era, we watched these programs that were too big to fail. And you go, what? How could Texas wander through what is USC, Tennessee? Like, is there a better program naturally than Tennessee? They went a long time going, man, Fulmer wasn't that bad after all, right? Like it can happen. There's no foolproof plan here. And especially these days compared to the last days.
I'll give you a really good example of this. Even the hire that seems perfect, sometimes inexplicably, isn't working. I present to you Billy Napier at Florida. I still say that was an outstanding hire. I still believe he's a really good coach. They're not winning enough yet. I hope he gets a chance to, against a tough schedule, to win it, because I'm fond of him personally. I believe him to be a good coach. But, they've got to win more. And when they hired him, and now Dan Mullen had won a lot of games there too. We should point that out. But when they hired him, I was like, this is going to be good. And it's been fits and starts. It's been average up to this point. You just don't know.
What about Luke Fickell at Wisconsin?
Luke Fickell.
A dozen plus years as a thumper coordinator in the Big Ten, took Cincinnati to the college football playoff in a completely different era than we are in right now, and had a loaded team. He had an NFL quarterback. He had Sauce Gardner at one corner. He had Kobe Bryant, who I believe won the scoreboard at the other corner. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were really, really good. And that recruited, developed the whole thing. And again, maybe Dan, like this is the point. You can't build it like Luke built it at Cincinnati anymore. Find the unpolished 3-star, the overlooked guy, guy who left Ohio for somewhere and then came home and then, and developed him. So but I thought when Wisconsin hired him, I was like, no brainer. It just, to me, I was just like, that's an easy way to get the legs going. Now, he obviously made the mistake of trying to change the offense, which handcuffed them the first 2 years. And, bringing it back to Smash Mouth has obviously not gone well this season.
Do you guys have a final thought on the Penn State firing, change, candidates, what you expect?
Let's make a prediction. Let's all predict who's going to be the next Penn State coach.
Boy, that really puts guys who have jobs in a bad position, but that's okay. I would like to add one thing. But we're gonna do it. This is what podcasts
Penn State in the title game. We were completely wrong. So when I say I think maybe Matt Campbell gets the job, sorry, Matt, you ain't getting it.
Hey, Dan, I want to challenge. Dan, I need to challenge you on one thing. You said no, don't do anybody long-term contracts. Don't give people $50 million, with the exception of your friendly local broadcasters, writers, or podcast hosts. That's okay. We don't mind.
That's true. This present company excluded.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Make a prediction,
Pete. $50 million buyout, and I will tank the next 3 podcasts. You think Penn State was bad against UCLA? Wait do you see how bad I am if I got $50 million on getting fired?
I'm going to say it's one of the Matts, Campbell or Rhule. I'm not convicted on either, but I think it's going to be a Matt.
I like either of those as a real possibility. I think it makes sense on both sides, but there's not been a lot of power 4 to power 4 moves. Generally, you got to go down, but
it's hard.
I think both of these guys would make a lot of sense. Here's another name, Pat Fitzgerald. Maybe they don't want to go through it, but Pat Fitzgerald is sitting there as, if I'm Wisconsin, I'm crawling to his place. What happened with the lawsuit is he's got cleared, or I don't want to use the exact language, but whatever. I'm hiring Pat Fitzgerald. I'm taking a look at Pat Fitzgerald. I want to hear how he would do it in this era. That's a great football coach.
That's a great call, and I'm told, eager and ready to coach and wants a head coaching job like yesterday. So that's a great call.
Is there a better obvious guy than Wisconsin and Pat Fitzgerald? It's like probably.
Yeah, look, I'm sort of like Napier. I'm rooting for Billy. I'm rooting for Fickell too. I hope they, hope they get it straightened out and all of that stuff. Yeah. I would say if I had to make one, if you had to dance around it, I'm going to say Rhule because of the Penn State tie, and also because, and Pete, you would know more about this than I. Maybe he has a wonderful relationship with the new athletic director, but there is the proverbial, the guy who's the boss now didn't hire him. So, maybe it's a wonderful relationship.
He and Dan are really close, and Rhule was part of sort of the selection of Dan. They all go back to the AAC, but Rhule and Pat Kraft are like best friends.
Right. Exactly.
They are like unusually close in that.
Which might even make it a detriment to hire, because my understanding of their friendship is that it would extend well beyond any type of business friendship that you have. They're and sometimes friends. That makes it that's a tough strain to put on a friendship sometimes. So maybe neither guy would want that. So, but I think if you're making me make a prediction, I probably go there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
what'd you say?
Maybe they both get huge buyouts. It all goes south, and they move to the Caribbean and live next to each other in St. Croix.
Yeah. They usually go to the Jersey Shore.
Working and failing at Penn State seems like a heck of a good thing. I mean, let's not shed too many tears for James Franklin.